face in your face.
Hello everyone. Today we are starting the 12th week of the Euroleague. We have some very exciting games ahead of us, starting with the usual matchups. Before we move on to the games, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel, guys. Unfortunately, the YouTube algorithm works like this. The more likes we get, the more videos we'll get. Last week, there were no matches in Eurocup, FIBA Champions League, or local leagues due to the national break. However, all the leagues are back this week, and there are also some great games in the Eurocup today. As I always mention, for now, I am only sharing my Euroleague and NBA predictions with you here. Our first game, Žalgiris Kaunas, Baskonia. Žalgiris had a great start to the season but had suffered 3 consecutive losses. Last week, they stopped their losing streak by beating Panathinaikos at home. Lonnie Walker had an excellent performance in the previous game, but the victory came when Davidas Servidis also stepped up alongside him in the last match. They controlled their turnovers very well. Baskonia, on the other hand, continues its downward trend. After losing 2 home games in the double game week, they showed no presence in the Olympiacos away game last week and suffered their 5th consecutive defeat. Marcus Howard, who has missed 14 three-pointers in the last 3 games, needs to bounce back. Timothy Luwawu will not play tonight for Baskonia. Baskonia has lost 8 of the 9 away games they have played this season in both the league and Euroleague. With their current short rotation, it doesn't seem easy for them to get a win on the road. I see Žalgiris Kaunas as the favorite to win at home. Our next game, Alba Berlin, Maccabi Tel Aviv. Alba Berlin secured their 2nd win of the season by defeating Olimpia Milano despite being without 8 of their players. However, they suffered a heavy defeat at Bayern Munich afterward. Last week at Real Madrid, they started the game with a surprise and scored 55 points in the first half, staying in the game, but eventually gave in during the second half. They are facing serious problems on defense and made too many turnovers. Maccabi Tel Aviv, on the other hand, has lost 7 of its last 8 games. Last week at Milano, they came back from a 14-point deficit in the second half and made it a game again, but they couldn't complete the comeback. Jalen Horde and Roman Sorkin's strong performances were not enough for a win. They are struggling to stop their opponents on defense and have allowed an average of 92 points in the last 4 losses. Maccabi Tel Aviv is still missing Matt Thomas, Justin Bean, Will McDowell-White, and Martin Hermanson due to injuries. They added David McCormack from Milano. Tamir Blatt will be out due to injury, and Jassiel Rivero's status will be determined closer to the game. Sabin Lee, who didn't get any minutes in the last game, has returned to his former team. I expect both teams to start the game effectively on offense, and we could see a high score, especially in the first half. Our next game, Partizan, Olympiacos. Partizan had a very poor start to the season, but after 6 consecutive losses, they breathed a sigh of relief by winning the derby at Crvena Zvezda last week. They came back to life. 8 players contributed 8 or more points, and they shot a very high percentage on 2-pointers. They controlled their turnovers very well and managed to dominate on the boards. Olympiacos, meanwhile, continues its strong run. After 3 losses in the first 5 games, they have won the last 6. Last week, they easily beat Baskonia at home, despite missing some key players, displaying a fantastic offensive performance. 5 different players scored in double digits, and they also recorded 25 assists from 10 different players. Vanja Marinkovic, who missed the last game, is expected to return tonight for Olympiacos. However, Vazenkov, who missed the last match, and Moses Wright, who got injured in the last game, will not play tonight. I expect a high-scoring game with plenty of offensive weapons on display. I think we'll see at least 161 total points in this one. Our next game, Paris Basketball, Virtus Bologna. After their victory over Barcelona, Paris extended their winning streak to 7 games by winning in Istanbul against Anadolu Efes last week. All eyes are on them right now. They've found excellent rhythm, and TJ Shorts, who has been leading the offense, has been delivering fantastic performances. He had achieved this in the FIBA Champions League and Eurocup, but his Euroleague performance was a question mark. However, in the first 11 weeks, he has clearly shown that he is an Euroleague level player. Apart from TJ Shorts, all the players who have seen time on the court have contributed to the score. Virtus Bologna, however, has only managed 2 wins in the past 11 games. The situation is the complete opposite of last season. After losing a game they could have won against Panathinaikos, they were also defeated by Fenerbahce Beko last week, despite leading by double digits with 5 minutes remaining. The combined 55 points from Tornike Shengelia, Ante Žižić and Matt Morgan weren't enough to secure a win. Aside from Shengelia and Morgan, the rest of the team shot just 1 of 16 from 3-point range. Paris has no injury concerns except for Dalton Holmes, who has yet to play this season. Virtus Bologna has no injuries. While Bologna tends to be more competitive at home, they are very unconvincing on the road. I don't think Paris, in their current form, will have problems with offense, and I expect them to win with a high score at home. Our final game of the day, Barcelona, Real Madrid. It's El Clásico in the Euroleague. Barcelona, after losing to Paris at home, suffered another big defeat at Bayern Munich last week, marking their first back-to-back losses in Euroleague this season. They are shooting at very low percentages from the outside and haven't been able to stop their opponents on defense. Kevin Punther, who started the season excellently and scored double digits in the first 9 games, has not reached double digits in the last 2 games. Real Madrid, so far, has had a poor performance in the Euroleague. They suffered their lowest score of the season against Anadolu Efes at home, but found some morale last week by defeating Alba Berlin at home. They started poorly defensively and conceded 55 points in the first half, but turned the game around in the third quarter. Facundo Campazzo was again the standout player, but they also had contributions from 6 different players in double figures. Canan Musa, who returned from injury, had a productive game against Alba Berlin. Nicolas Laprovitola and Chimezie Metu will not play for Barcelona. For Real Madrid, Usman Garuba, who returned to practice, is unlikely to play tonight, but Canan Musa's return is very important for them. I expect both teams to reach 80 points or more in this Clásico. It should be a high-scoring game. I've analysed all the Euroleague games for tonight. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, make sure to hit the subscribe button and like the videos. Take care.